All right, welcome. Marcela McBride here. So excited to have Michelle Irene Tompkins with me today, signing in from Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome, Michelle. So excited
Hello.
here. Aloha. I invited Michelle on today to share a little bit about her experience of the Priestess Activation Retreat last summer in the mountains of North Carolina. She had a really powerful time, and so much magic and mystery unfolded there. And I really wanted to share her perspective for any of you ladies that are considering joining us for this summer's retreat, as I'm opening up early bird doors very soon. So welcome, Michelle. I would love for you to introduce yourself to the ladies, let them know what you're up to in the world.
Thank you, Marcella. My name's Michelle Tompkins. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm a practicing licensed professional counselor. But I focus my work on trauma and working with people with EMDR, and I work with expressive arts therapy as a practicing artist. So that's where my love and my passions lie.
Fantastic. I love that. And Michelle's the type of woman that's just weaving in years and years, decades of experience of training and merging all of those things together into this now walking the priestess path that I have the honor of walking with Michelle through this 9-month rebirthing process. And we're in our final trimester here in this 9-month immersion. She's going to be initiated with me here on the Big Island very soon. So really about what this priestess work is about is how do we take all of our life experience, all the richness that we've developed over the years that's now being called forth to birth through us in a whole new way. So the women that are stepping into this priestess work are birthing something new that the world has never seen before. And one of those women stepping into this whole other level of leadership, mentorship, and creative expression, and really being the bridge between the worlds. And so it's really an honor to walk this with you and to be exploring some collaborative ideas with you. And for the ladies listening, Michelle will be with us this year, August 23rd through 25th, at this year's Priestess Activation Retreat. So I'd love to hear, that'll be back in the mountains of North Carolina in a new location where we all get to stay together on site. And I'd love to hear from your words, Michelle. How was it being there at that activation retreat last summer in the mountains for the week?
I mean, it's so funny that it's such an overused term to say it was life-changing, but I can't think of anything more appropriate to say about it because, and I think when I hugged you at the retreat at some point, I told you that it felt like so many little strings that I'd been following, little threads, just came together like in a rope. And so many parts of my learning and my yearnings and all the things that were going on with me just came together that weekend, where it was like I understood working on my femininity and my divine feminine aspect of myself was a big part of my healing process. And getting back in touch with nature was a life-changing experience. I think that was the first time I'd actually been away from life as we know it, social media, etc., for more than a couple days. And it literally made me sobered me so much to what my life was like. So I had so many awakenings and emotional moments that weekend that I just knew I was in the right place. And I'm still here. And I still know I'm in the right place.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great. Because it's so powerful, right? The simplest things that we don't often give credit to are the most profound. The idea of coming and unplugging for a couple of days. And didn't you take the challenge that I opened up as an opportunity in the beginning? The ultimate challenge that I opened as an opportunity for women were to completely cut off your phone for the entire weekend. Which people is like, hell's to the no. There's no way that I can't be so that in itself, this idea that we can completely unplug, become completely present to ourselves, to the moment, to the elements, to being in sacred circle with other women, that simplicity, back to the basics, connecting with the earth again, being in the sun, dancing around the fire, getting in the water, all those things that are so important. A whole other level of information comes online.
Yes.
Right? That our
Yes.
busy modern lives don't allow for.
Absolutely. I mean, I took the challenge completely. And as a matter of fact, one of your assistants was texting my husband and letting him know I was okay. So, I mean, we went all the way. Yeah, I remember I came back from there and I was trying to describe it to some of my friends. And I said, the best way to describe it was I actually saw for the first time in a long, long time, flowers growing wild, that they hadn't been planted in a landscape of some kind. I know that sounds, it was mind-boggling to me that I can't remember the last time I saw wild flowers growing in a field. And even that was just like, that made me sad and realize how disconnected I'd been from really beautiful parts of life. So, and that was not even part of the program or what we did. It was just the environment. So it was really focused on getting me out of my comfort zone and having me see life differently.
That's fantastic. And I'm so glad. And I remember there was just a sense of this feeling that you shared, that you'd landed. Like, how often do we actually know what we need? We're just not allowing ourselves to see it.
Yes.
We're our own divine intelligence. You know, our bodies are intelligent, our minds, our subconscious always knows what's going on. There's a whole other level at play that if we keep ourselves in the busyness of the everyday, we don't allow ourselves to go there. And there's so much fear around it too, that we're not sure what it looks like. And who am I really if I unplug? Like, who am I really if I become quiet? Who am I really if I become present with another sister that I may not know, but all of a sudden I recognize myself in completely? How much I can learn from knowing this other sister for the weekend, you know,
Right. Absolutely.
things.
Yeah, I think sometimes just in the year that, since we went, one of the things I've realized is that there's such a thing as being addicted to toxic stress hormone chemicals in the body, and that getting away from that input really forces you to see things in a totally different way. I was so grateful that you challenged us to do that, because I think it takes a lot of courage to actually sit at a retreat and tell a bunch of women that they can't use their phones. So I thought you were pretty brave, honestly.
I did give you choice though, didn't I?
Yes, absolutely.
A couple options. You can take the full challenge, which is complete phone off all weekend. You can take the partial challenge, which is to leave it on airplane mode until nighttime when you go to sleep.
Yes.
Maybe you check your messages and then maybe first thing in the morning, but it's off during the day. That was a definite.
It was so great to be so focused in the moment. And I think I really realized how distracting it could be. So it was really, and that was like a minor part of it, really. But yeah, that still sticks with me when I sometimes catch myself and I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go back where I had that structure. So I think that's part of it too, is that it was safe, and it was other people willing to do it with me, and just a group of women that I wanted to be with, and I wanted to be there 100%.
Yeah. And you really bring up a good point with the addiction to adrenaline and stress is so real for all of us. Most of us are walking around with exhausted adrenals. And
Yes.
for those of you that don't know, the adrenals are the ones that fire adrenaline when we're in a stress state. And when we're consistently in a stress state for such a long period of time, they become exhausted because they're not meant to be running high all the time. And so this is an opportunity to
Yes.
breathe, become present, And we don't like om and meditate all weekend. We're shaking our
Mhm.
booties. We're out on the earth with our shoes off. We're walking the mountain. We're going up and this location has walking trails and a labyrinth at the top of a mountain with an incredible view. We get to be able to dance around the fire and release what's not serving us any longer and vision into the next year what we want to create and learn about our ancient lineage of the priestess and how she's rebirthing now through our awakening in our DNA, coming alive in our bones to remind
Yes.
us that we have a purpose, that we have a destiny in this life, that our life matters, that our voice matters, that it's time. The earth is activating within us. It is time to take it serious, ladies, that you have a role here to play in our evolution. And it's time to
Yeah.
awaken to that because your suffering is linked to not being of service to your destiny.
What could I say to that? I mean, that is, yeah. And that's what I saw when I was there was that energy that you put forth that was, I wanted it. I felt like that's where I was supposed to be. And it made sense to me in a way that, I know there's a lot of women out there that think, oh, I'm just so strange. The things I think about doing. And and no, I didn't feel any of that. I knew that it was okay to want to be a part of helping this next generation of women and feeling and men, and also not being a part of anything that had anything to do with, anything other than the fact that the divine and the divine feminine and masculine are supposed to work together. I was so comforted by that because
Absolutely.
I wanted to feel a part of the whole human race. And I love that we just, it was about being women, but not about being angry at something, or I just can't join groups like that. I need to be a part of loving movements. So that was really important to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the energy of shifting from fighting against something to standing for something.
Yes.
Yeah. And we must collaborate. Our own inner masculine and feminine, how that shows up in all of our relationships becomes a
Yes.
collaboration, a co-creation. The night and the day, the yin and the yang, the dark and the night, the light and the shadow aspects of us that are a big part of this priestess work, integrating all of it.
Yes.
And for women
Yes.
like yourself that are showing up in this priestess work, that are becoming the bridge between the worlds of conventional approach to psychoanalysis, counseling, psychology, bridging it with embodied creative expressive arts and all of our woo-woo-ness. We pay attention to the stars and the moon cycles, and we dancing out on the earth is a form of church and celebration to us, and reconnection with other women in sacred circle is important, and we're feeling that call, like that whole the woo-woo box we put all that stuff into, bringing all that online so we're no longer separated, because we live in a world that really tries hard to keep us separated, and this is
Right.
about unification of all parts of ourself.
Yes. That was such a cleansing, hopeful message, in my opinion. And the idea that that I can be clinically trained and know, understand empirical data and techniques, and at the same time also understand that there's a science and an art to being a healer and working in the healing industry.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it just felt like all those things came together for me. And it was, it was a no-brainer for me. At the end of the weekend, I was like, oh yeah, this, I mean, my picture should have been on the pamphlet.
If there were a pamphlet, it would be. This is our virtual pamphlet. So yeah, so awesome. Well, thank you for this. Anything else that you feel drawn to share that we didn't cover?
No, I just really want to say that I know that the people who are listening to this, that if you're sitting there wondering if you come, this should be enough of a message, is trust what you're feeling right now in your heart, that coming together with other women and making beautiful, hopeful changes in the world is, I think, exactly where we need to go. So if you come, I look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, because Michelle will be there with us as part of the Initiated Priestess team. So
Thank you so much for asking me. I'm
yeah,
honored.
absolutely, absolutely. So, ladies, come join us in the mountains of North Carolina this summer, August 23rd through 25th. I'm going to be opening early bird doors very soon. So, marcelamcbride.com if you're not there already. And if you're on the Temple of the Mystic Priestess page, hop onto my website, get all the details. I've got some really juicy jump in now bonuses around a manifestation course I'm putting together through the lens of the priestess, manifestation mastery, and some other excellent bonuses to jump in. And there's only 17 lodging spots in the house, in the main house, and those are going to fill quickly. And all the overflow will need to stay in hotels about 15 minutes away. So if you want the powerful container and vessel staying with us on site all weekend, you'll definitely want to jump in quickly. And this, I get to cover lodging and meals with your price. So essentially that base cost is covering all that. So the retreat itself is basically my gift to the community this summer. And it's the only opportunity to come be in this priestess energy as a woman that's curious about the path. It's the only retreat I lead that's open to the public every year. So this is a very hot opportunity. So excited to have you be part of the community, to come explore this path, see if it's right for you. You're going to walk away so inspired, invigorated, open, excited, connected to the earth, connected to other women. And I'm so excited to have Michelle there with us. So thank you for being here with us today, Michelle, sharing your
Thank you.
voice. And thank you, ladies. See you all very soon. Come join us.